top stories, the House approves 801.65 billion birr federal government budget for the coming Ethiopian fiscal year. And toxic gas leak in South Africa has killed 16 people, including 3 children. Hello and thank you for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour with the news. I'm Tabitha John. Do stay with us. The 28th regular session and second tenure of the House of People's Representatives has approved 801.65 billion birr budget for the federal government for the Ethiopian fiscal year of 2016. The budget proposal was presented to the HPR by the Planning, Budget and Finance Affairs Standing Committee of the HPR. The budget slated for the fiscal year includes 369.6 billion birr for regular government expenditure and 203.9 billion birr for capital expenditure, while 214.07 billion birr is to be disbursed in budget subsidy for regional states. Moreover, 14 billion birr was earmarked for sustainable development programs to be implemented during the fiscal year. The approved budget is slightly higher than the budget allocated for the concluding fiscal year by 2%. The federal government budget is expected to focus on supporting citizens who were affected by the drought situation and those displaced during the 2 years' war in the northern part of the country, as well as rehabilitation of social and infrastructure services destroyed during the war. The 2023-24 Ethiopia budget gives prime attention to solve the existing socio-economic challenges that hinder the nation by minimizing expenditure. The second year 28th ordinary session of the House of People's Representatives discussed and passed decisions on 2 main agendas today. Haptamu Ashagre compiles the following report.
In the macroeconomic, the break in the micro.
The House of People's Representatives discussed the 2022-23 government performance and approved the 2023-24 fiscal budget of the country. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said the 2023-24 budget of the country is focusing to bring socio-economic development to the nation.
This year's budget aims to minimize the nation's debt. Loan, which is 38% of the GDP, is still high. We need further activities to bridge the gap between import and export goods. Unless we are working by this direction, it is difficult to curb the macroeconomic imbalance. This year we got some result in controlling inflation. By implementing a strong fiscal policy, we need to exert efforts to curb the existing high inflation next year. This year's budget aims these priorities.
According to the Premier, collective efforts as well as political commitment are crucial to control the existing socio-economic challenges in Ethiopia. Talking to TV English, State Minister for Finance, Eyob Tekalin, said the approved budget means a lot to realize problem-solving mega projects across the nation.
We focused on what we can mobilize domestically. So largely we're planning to finance most of our financing needs from local sources and ensured support from partners. So very conservative budget, but very important for the macro stance overall.
The State Minister added that the approved budget is helpful to finalize the ongoing and new mega projects being constructed by the government.
The Prime Minister mentioned very important issue this morning. And he said our development needs and what we can mobilize through budgetary sources don't match. So there is a need for innovative financing mechanism, as is shown through very impressive initiatives, national initiatives by the Prime Minister. The resources mobilized largely from the public, and we've implemented significant mega projects accordingly. But in terms of proper parliamentary approved budget, Next year's focus would be fiscal consolidation and completing what we have started, and making sure we can really finance we can cover our financing needs from local sources.
Eyob underlined his ministry is committed to boost its cooperation with development partners to play unprecedented role to implement the target set.
This budget signals that we are serious about economic management, but we are also serious about the partnership. But we want to work on partnerships in a mutually respectable manner. We have big development ambitions, and we want our partners to work with us. But we want to unleash the full potential of the Ethiopian economy, and we want to mobilize the larger public. Of course, we call upon our partners to work with us in this endeavor.
The House of People representative concluded its session by delivering two main objectives. The first one is the House discussing on the 2022-23 fiscal year implementation of government activities. Of the total, 46% allocated for government budgets and 27% for capital budgets and 25% for regional status, and the rest 2% is to implementing the Sustainable Development Goals.
And we have also seen in food.
Prime Minister Abiy said Ethiopia's economy is projected to grow by 7.5% in 2023-24 fiscal year. The Premier also noted that the agriculture sector alone accounts 33% of the GDP. Goshu Melisau tells you more.
Addressing the lawmakers, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said the world's economy is surrounded by hope and trade due to Russia-Ukraine war and the wide range of challenges. Despite all these challenges, the Premier said Ethiopia's economy is projected to grow 7.5% in 2023-24 fiscal year.
Ethiopia was in war and being challenged by internal and external problems. Amid these numerous challenges, we expect a growth rate of at least 7.5%. This will be the fastest growth in the sub-Saharan region. Ethiopia has registered an impressive economic growth this year on a backdrop of multifaceted of challenges, including political disorder inherited from the past.
Abiy explained Ethiopia is immersed with high debt. He said his government is working to reduce the debt pressure by half. The Premier highlighted that the agriculture sector will contribute about 33% to the GDP and is projected to grow 6.3%.
We are working tirelessly to elevate the agriculture sector, particularly the wheat production campaign is registering remarkable achievements. We will strengthen our wheat production ahead to cut off import and secure foreign currency. The contribution of agriculture sector accounts to 33% to GDP. Ethiopia is also making a big difference in fruit production, and the country is now exporting fruits to Europe, the Middle East, and other countries.
Prime Minister Abiy also told members of parliament that the industry sector also estimated to register 8.2% in the same fiscal year.
Made in Ethiopia campaign has played critical role to enhance the industry sector. If this momentous approach continues, Ethiopia's industry sector is expected to grow by 8.2%. Some 160 factories which are new and renovated have been operational by the Ethiopian Tamrit movement. Therefore, huge production and productivity is expected as the result of the movement was effective.
160 የሚጠጉ ፋብሪካዎች አዲስ እና የማይሰሩ ፋብሪካዎች ስራ እንዲጀምሩ ማድረግ ተችሏል.
Responding to the queries from the parliamentarians, Abiy said financial sectors have been showing remarkable growth following the extensive jobs done over the past 5 years. According to him, the total assets of the banks jumped from 1.2 trillion to 2.9 trillion.
Addressing the 28th regular session of the House of People's Representatives, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed called on Ethiopians to embrace forgiveness and cultivate a culture of dialogue to ensure lasting peace in the country. The Premier also underlines the need to enforce laws against bandits persecuting citizens in the name of freedom fighters if they do not engage in peaceful discussion. Shagao Yamato has the rest of the story.
Replying questions posed from the lawmaking body on peace and security at the 28th regular session of the House of People's Representatives, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed underlined the significance of peace and the negative impacts of war. The Premier also stated that his government is committed to embracing peaceful mechanisms for tackling disputes through win-win solution.
ጦርነት ለማንኛውም የኢትዮጵያ ክፍል አይጠቅምም።
War is destructive at any time due to boundary or any other disputes. The Ethiopian government embraced peaceful discussions. We did it with the TPLF, OLF and Gnimot 7 opposition parties. Many opposition parties which were in exile were invited to their home and they took part and became part of the Prosperity Party cabinet in the election. We did it because we assumed that it would be better to work together than fight each other.
የልዩ ልዩ ፓርቲ አመራሮች ያሉበት ካቢኔ የሆነበት ምክንያት
He also indicated the significance of peace to one country and called on Ethiopians to embrace forgiveness and cultivate culture of dialogue to ensure lasting peace.
Peace is indispensable. Taking this into account, we need to resolve disagreements within the country through discussion. Border issues need to be tackled sustainably in referendums as we did in the Southern Nations Nationalist People's region. Otherwise, forceful openness is destructive as it cannot ensure sustainable peace.
ጥፋት ነው ብንዋጋም ዘላቂ ድል አናመጣም
The Premier also pointed out that the government will continue taking strict measures against bandits who came in the name of freedom fighters and persecuting citizens.
እነዚህ በየቦታው ያሉ ሽፍቶች በሚመለከት ግን የሚናገሩት
Those bandits whom we hear here and there yells as if they fight for the freedom of their community, but they themselves kidnap their people seeking money or something for their benefits and they cannot be freedom fighters. The government is determined to take strict measures on these enemies if we cannot settle disputes through discussion.
The Premier reiterated that the restructuring of regional special forces will continue to cement national unity and ensure peace and security. As the national dialogue has become fully operational, Abiy called on all Ethiopians to contribute their share for the success of the platform, as it is an amicable way of settling disagreements.
የቴሌቪዥን ድርጅት አቋቁመን ስንከፍት አገልግሎቱና ጥቅሙ ከፍ ያለ መሆኑን በመገንዘብ ነው።
ETV launched its broadcasting service on the 4th floor of Addis Ababa Municipality building in a small room with 3 alt cameras. So as to broadcast the establishment conference of the Ethiopian Workers' Party, or EWP, in September 1984, the broadcast of the station was completely changed from black and white to colored images.
የአገሪቱ ፕሬዝዳንት ከስልጣን መውረዳቸው እንደሚበጅ ታመነበት ስለሆነ ይህንኑ በማመዛዘን ፕሬዝዳንት መንግስቱ ኃይለ ማርያም በዛሬው ዕለት ከስልጣን ወርደው ከኢትዮጵያ ውጪ ሄደዋል።
የዘመናት የህዝባችን ብሶት የወለደው ጀግናው የኢህአዴግ ሰራዊት ደርግ ሲጠቀምበት የነበረውን የአዲስ አበባ ሬዲዮ ጣቢያ ለሰፊው ህዝብ ጥቅም ተቆጣጥሮታል። ግንቦት 1983 ዓመተ ምህረት
የመንግስት ኃላፊነትን ለመልቀቅ ጥያቄ አቅርቤያለሁ።
Welcome back. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs Demeke Mekonnen said that the Green Legacy Initiative serves as a strong foundation for shared aspiration for regional cooperation. The Deputy Prime Minister said this while planting seedlings along with the visiting Djibouti public diplomacy delegation in Addis Ababa. He emphasized that the Green Legacy symbolizes the endeavor to combat climate change, preserve natural resources, and create a better and greener development for the people. According to him, the initiative will serve as a strong foundation for shared aspirations for regional cooperation. Listen to him.
A greener and more sustainable environment by partaking in the Green Legacy Initiative. The Green Legacy Initiative symbolizes our endeavor to combat climate change, preserve natural resources, and create a better and greener development for our people. It serves as a strong foundation for shared aspiration for regional cooperation. I am delighted that Djibouti has taken this noble initiative.
Demeke noted that it is a reminder that when people come together and unite for a common purpose, greater goals can be achieved, adding that we need to recommit ourselves, build sustainable region and continent that nurtures our people and the planet.
I am confident that your journey from Djibouti to Addis Ababa has brought you many memorable experiences through this trip. This is a momentous occasion at a historic landmark where we have reaffirmed our strong commitment to strengthen the bond between our two countries.
State Minister Burtukan Ayana said that the relationship between Ethiopia and Djibouti is unique and exemplary for the entire region. In her keynote address to the Ethiopia-Djibouti Public Diplomacy Consultation Forum, the State Minister said that the people of Ethiopia and Djibouti share common culture, history, language and social values that make them interdependent with each other. Johannes Fentahun has the following account.
The Ethio-Djibouti Consultation Forum aimed at further consolidating the strongest bondage and fraternity between Ethiopia and Djibouti is being underway in Addis Ababa. Addressing the forum, State Minister of the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, Burtukan Ayana, said Ethiopia and Djibouti enjoy strong political, economic and social relations based on solid foundation, mutual benefit and respect.
Ethiopia attaches particular importance to the long-standing ties between the people of the two countries. Our relationship is unique and exemplary to the entire region. It is cemented by strong people-to-people relations that exist from time to immemorial. Like our interwoven past, we have also common destiny. Hence, your presence today here in Addis Ababa, in your city, is a testimony to that special bond between our peoples.
According to Burtukan, Ethiopia and Djibouti have also common destiny. To this end, the two countries are marching towards a more robust economic integration and solid political interconnectedness. Burtukan further noted that the countries have been reinforcing various mechanisms in order to strengthen the strategic partnership and expedite the economic integration process and people-to-people relations.
Our homes are using electricity from the same grid. We are drinking the same water. Our cities, towns, and the villages are connected by a railway road, telecom networks, and aviation. As we have witnessed, the Ethio-Djibouti railway line, which connects Addis Ababa, the capital of Africa, with the port of Djibouti, and enables this Ethio-Djibouti family, shows a new phase in our thriving relations.
Dans le cadre de ce comité, effectivement, il y a beaucoup de défis qui se posent.
Djibouti's Interior Minister, Secretary General and leader of the delegation, Siraj Omar, said on his part that the comprehensive bilateral relationship between Ethiopia and Djibouti has bearing fruits in various areas. Despite some setbacks in the areas of customs duties to further expedite the steadily growing trade activities and migration challenges, the two nations have been working hard to elevate the relationship to a higher level, he added. Speaking on behalf of IGAD Secretary General, IGAD Coordinator of Strengthening Migration Policy Implementation, Yemsrach Binalfo, said that the relationship between Ethiopia and Djibouti is a real demonstration of regional integration, which is the core objective of IGAD.
IGAD plays a critical role in advancing regular, safe, and orderly human mobility with its member states. The adoption of the IGAD Protocol on Free Movement of Persons and the IGAD Protocol on Transhumans provide incentive to advance human mobility in a safe, orderly, and regular manner.
IGAD Secretary General Dr. Warqineh Gabayao and the African Union Commission Chairperson Musa Faki Mohammed discussed on the current issue of Sudan. Dr. Warqineh stated that the joint commitment of IGAD and the African Union to bring peace and stability to Sudan is unwavering. The leaders of the two institutions indicated that they're working together to bring lasting peace to Sudan, to reach a ceasefire agreement, and to bring Sudan to political line.
Prime Minister Meles Zenawi left for Kinshasa early today to attend the summit meeting in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Hello viewers, welcome to ETV News. I'm Shuman Islamma. First, the news in brief.
Hands have expressed keenness to reinforce bilateral ties of their respective countries with
both ministers of France and Germany. They have great concern.
The Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed leaves no stones unturned.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and First Lady Zinash Tayacho hosted a Christmas luncheon
in laboratories in Tanzania and Nairobi.
And Yalen's travels, according to PBS News Hour, will take her from business incubators for entrepreneurs and sectors.
Today, we welcomed the newly appointed Chinese Foreign Minister.
Former President Mulatu Teshome said Ethiopia and Kazakhstan need to exploit many opportunities that exist between them by strengthening their cooperation in various fields. The former president, who earlier was Ethiopia's ambassador to Kazakhstan, told Ethiopian news agency that Kazakhstan and Ethiopia have not yet mutually exploited the potentials they have. According to him, Kazakhs are highly insisting that Ethiopia open at least cargo flights to one of Kazakhstan's capital, Astana or Almaty, so that it might be a trigger and push for future trade and investment connections between the two countries. Listen to him.
There are a lot of areas where Kazakhstan and Ethiopia can support each other, especially in the areas of the mining industry, the agriculture, and other areas where Ethiopia and Kazakhstan can mutually benefit from each other through trade, investment, tourism, so on and so forth.
Kazakhstan's ambassador to Ethiopia, Barlibay Sadikov, said on his part that his country attaches great importance to development acceleration with Ethiopia. Even if the two countries established diplomatic relations 12 years ago, he added that their relationships are developing very dramatically. Listen.
We have a lot of opportunities and great potential for increasing our trade and economic cooperation, especially in the field of petrochemicals, mining, agriculture, metallurgy, science and technology, education. So for that reason, government of Kazakhstan proposed to establish Intergovernmental Commission on Trade, Economic and Investment Cooperation.
The State Minister for Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia, Misganu Arega, addressed the ministerial meeting of the Non-Aligned Movement, NAM, taking place in Baku, Azerbaijan. Addressing the meeting, the State Minister reiterated the Non-Aligned Movement as a key multilateral platform to strengthening South-South cooperation in the face of evolving and complex global challenges. As a founding member of Non-Aligned Movement, Ethiopia remains committed to the principles of the movement that promote shared interests and aspirations, he added. As global commitments for granting debt relief and climate finance continue to fall short of expectations, Ms. Ganu said, adding, reinvigorating multilateralism that safeguards the interests of developing countries is not a choice, rather a necessity. On the margins of the ongoing ministerial meeting of the Non-Aligned Movement, NAM, in Baku, Azerbaijan, Ms. Ganu Arega held bilateral discussions with Sudanese and Qatari foreign ministers Ali El Sadiq Ali and Solatan bin Saad Al Mulaiki, respectively. He also met with Vietnamese Deputy Foreign Minister Do Hang Viet. They exchanged views on further consolidating long-standing bilateral ties as well as cooperation in multilateral areas.
ምክንያት የሆነው ለዩኒቨርሲቲ የአልኮልና አደንዛዥ
እናመሰግናለን። አሁን ደግሞ የምንገኘው በኤፍኤም 97.1 ስቱዲዮ ውስጥ ነው። ከአንጋፋ እስከ ወጣት የተቋም
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
Of about 1.7 million and a greater metropolitan area of 2.9 million. Another popular park in downtown Harare is Africa Unity Square that we're looking at right now, formerly known as Rhodes Square. I heard that before there was a huge fountain here. This here is the Cathedral of the Sacred Heart, and it is one of the few remaining buildings.
And finally, a toxic gas leak in South Africa has killed 16 people, including 3 children. Emergency services initially announced that as many as 24 people might be dead in the Angelo settlement in Boksburg, a city on the eastern outskirts of Johannesburg. But police and Gauteng province premier Panyaza Lesufi later said the number of deaths had been confirmed as 16 after a recount. Here is more from Africa News.
"16 people, including children, have died after a gas leak at a South African slum near Johannesburg. Emergency service said Thursday, revising the death toll after some people were resuscitated. The Wednesday night disaster, thought to be linked to illegal mining activities, occurred east of Johannesburg.
Definitely came from a gas leak, potentially from what you would refer to as illegal miners, zamazamas, a dwelling of zamazamas, and that leakage actually was inhaled by members of the community, and subsequently they found themselves in the situation where they passed on.
South Africa is home to thousands of illegal miners. Thousands of unregistered miners scavenge obsolete mines for gold, under arduous and often perilous conditions.
We still have not healed from the last, gas explosion. I mean, it was a very sad day for people of Boksburg, people of Guruleni. We are hoping that this number would not escalate, and that the search, of course, has been happening in other dwellings, in other shacks or homes, to actually see if there are no casualties inside the homes.
Of those in hospital, 4 are in critical condition, while 11 are in serious but stable condition.
You're watching Addis News Hour. Here's a reminder of the stories making headlines. The House approves 801.65 billion birr federal government budget for the coming Ethiopian fiscal year. And toxic gas leak in South Africa has killed 16 people, including 3 children. That's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha John. Many thanks for watching. Have a good night.